aka the Musket Man, and I am back for another range video. And today we're going to be shooting the Chiappa 1855 Springfield Rifled Musket. And we're going to be shooting military style paper cartridges. Now these are not going to be round balls. This is going to be the legendary Minie Ball that was most widely known in the Civil War and other conflicts as well. I've made some paper cartridges from the Jefferson Arsenal kit, and we're going to be shooting a 500 grain self-expanding bullet Minie Ball, and we're going to be shooting about 65 grains of 2F black powder Goex. And today we're just going to test the accuracy, just how good it can do at 25, 50, and 75 yards. Today is a fairly pretty day, later in the evening, not as much wind, slight breeze, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Hopefully you can hear me pretty well on the camera here. But we're mainly going to be testing out the theory over the Italian-made reproductions on the rifled muskets, because some have stated that the Minie Ball is not necessarily designed for this type of rifling. Now, if you don't know what I mean, if you ever buy one of these, it does state the type of rifling that is put in these guns. And they're mainly for patched round ball, which I have shot patched round ball out of this particular gun and have gotten great accuracy. But I wanted to shoot the traditional Minie Ball to try and see if maybe my gun's accurate with it, maybe it's not so accurate with it. So that's just kind of what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing you just the cartridges themselves, the loading sequence, the firing, and the different ranges we're going to be firing at. So anyway, guys, that's enough shooting. Let's get out there, load it up, see what it can do. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everybody on all my shooting videos is ear protection and eye protection is strongly recommended when it comes to any black powder firearms, whether you're shooting rifled muskets, percussion guns, flintlocks, or any guns in general, because naturally they make a loud noise and you can't get your eyesight back and your hearing back. So always make sure you're taking the proper precautions when it comes to shooting. All right, brand new box, Jefferson Arsenal of the Minie Ball cartridges, 10 of them. Like opening present on Christmas Day. Oh yeah, look at those beauties. Alright guys, so before we get shooting, what I like to do with my percussion guns is I like to pop some caps to help blow out any oil or dust that might be in that slight little touch hole, just to blow that out. That way you don't get a misfire or hang fire. And the caps I'm using for this are the CCI reenactment caps. So they're kind of cheap. You can still somewhat find them. They're not the best for setting off a gun, but I do find a purpose with them, so that way I'm not wasting good caps when I'm just blowing out this little touch hole. So what we do is just put it half cocked, put a cap on there. We're just gonna fire it off. There's one. Okay, get out of there. Okay, there's the second one. Two. And third and final one. And again, that is just strictly to kind of help get it dirty or blow out anything that might be clogging up that little hole. Now we've done that, we can load it up for real and shoot it this time. All right, so loading the 1855 Springfield is very similar to the other guns you've seen in my videos, but instead of it being a flintlock, it's a percussion gun and it's slightly smaller. So pull one out here, and this cartridge box is used for like carbines for the cavalry. So it's the only one I had, so I got to get myself one for a rifled musket, but it works for what I'm using it for. So here's the cartridge. As you can see, looks the exact same. And if you're wondering what that blue tape is, sometimes this thin paper likes to tear, so I just put that as an extra precaution to help it from tearing. Again, I'm not trying to get off the fastest round as possible. I just want a self-contained cartridge ready to go. So anyway, same deal. Tear it off just like the Brown Bess video, and we're just going to pour it down the barrel. Make sure all that got on it. Oh, some of it got clogged up. That's okay. Get the rest of that. Get out of there. Okay, so as you can see, this is what's left. Now, it's not like the smoothbore muskets where you put the rest of the paper down. Now, there is some like the Projectile bullet, which was the British Enfield cartridge, where they would do that, but this is the Minie Ball, so it's a little different. Some guys would tear it off here. I don't want to do that versus damaging the ball. So I'm just going to tear it off right here. We're just going to, as you can see, just tear it around, tear it around. Again, I'm not going for speed here. I'm just going for quicker reload. And there is the Minie Ball. Now I've lubricated it, all 3 grooves lubricated, and as you can see, hollow base for an expanding bullet. And we're just going to pop it in the top of the barrel, just like that. And usually you can press it down the rest of the way with your thumb. It's okay if you get some of that mess on there. It's all right, it happened. That is just to help grease your barrel, keep the fouling soft, and your reload is going to be a lot easier. So now that we got the ball loaded, take out your ramrod, and as you can see, pretty easy. Now this is a clean barrel, so it goes down fairly easy. There we go. There we go. Again, it's been a while since I've shot this Minie Ball, so I just want to make sure it was well seated in there. All right, there we go. All right, so we got the gun ready to fire. Last thing is capping it. I've got the gun on half cock, but I've noticed I have to bring it up to full cock just a little bit. And what I've got here is a capper, and this is for the musket caps. So let's see if we can get one on there without dropping it. Okay, kind of worked, not the best, but it works for what I'm using it for. All right, go back in there, come on. Now that we got the gun all capped up, let's get ready and shoot it. All right, guys, now that we got the gun all loaded up, we're gonna shoot 3 shots at 25 yards. Let's see what we can do. There's shot 1, and shot 2. And shot 3. That one looked like a bullseye. All right, not too bad at 25 yards. Again, with any gun, that's a give me shot. I pulled the first shot right as I fired. As you saw in the loading sequence the first time, had a little bit of trouble with that. It was a fresh barrel. I hadn't shot this gun in probably close to 6 months, so it probably had a little bit of moisture in there. But even after the pulled shot, still dead center shot, still kill shot, 2 in the bullseye, 1 dead center. So not too bad at 25 yards. So far the Minie Ball is performing flawlessly. But let's back up to 50, see if there's anything different. All right, we backed up to 50 yards. We're gonna shoot 3 times, see what we can do. First shot. All right, and shot 2. That one wasn't good. We had to clean the barrel off camera, and that one hit way to the left. So there's shot 2, but that one wasn't very good. And shot 3. That one felt a little bit better. All right, so did open up a little bit. We've got 1 here and here. Pretty good, not too bad at 50 yards. This one way to his right, or my left, that was 100% user error. Completely my fault. I pulled the shot and just went to the left. It wasn't the wind, completely user error, but still got a shot on target. So not too bad. Could have been a little better if it wasn't for this flyer, but like I said, off camera, had to swab out the bore, so I couldn't, maybe if possibly didn't get all the moisture out, that could have been the problem, but not too bad, still got it on target. But let's back up to 75 yards, see what we can do there. Still hit it. All right, guys, we backed up to 75 yards. Let's see what kind of damage we could do at this range. And shot one. Whew, that one had a lot more kick. And shot two. All right, third and final shot. I'm gonna fire one more. We saw one that shot really low. Pretty sure that was user error, but I'm gonna shoot one more because I want to try and get it higher up into the grouping we already have. So hopefully fourth and final shot. Okay, so grouping opened up quite a bit. I did fire four on this last one. We had one here, here, and here. And for some reason I had one way down here. Again, I really believe that was user error. I felt myself drop right as the gun went off. So I fired too soon. So that's why I took a fourth shot. So here, yeah, the grouping widened up quite a bit. So not necessarily hole and hole accurate. I actually did better with my brown best. By the way, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But not bad. For what this gun was intended to be used, that's not bad. Now, granted, this is offhand. If I was firing from the rest, probably be a little bit tighter, but you're firing offhand, got a little bit of a breeze that's kind of not helping you as much, so that could have been reason why it opened up. Again, that was just complete user error, but for what these guns were actually used for, I think it's a complete success. And you can see the Minie Balls didn't tumble. They stayed straight and true the whole way to the target, so not too bad. Not too bad. So here's another view of the target after firing the rounds. As you can see, it's not the tightest of grouping, and there were some shots that were clearly user error and was not the fault of the gun. I know with a little bit more practice and changing maybe my position of shooting, I can definitely tighten up that grouping quite a bit. So out of the grouping, I had one hit incredibly low. I know this was my fault because when I tore open the cartridge, I lost about 10 to 12 grains of black powder, which could be the reason why it shot so low. But I know when it comes to shooting black powder rifles, sometimes you just have a flyer that goes way off course for whatever reason. So what are my thoughts on the 1855 Springfield Rifled Musket? The gun did perform fairly well. Out of 10 shots, I had 2 flyers, which were both user error, so that was not the gun's fault, completely my fault. The rifling seemed to grab the bullets fairly well, not too bad. They weren't hole and hole accurate, and that's also because it's the second time I've made paper cartridges for this gun, and I haven't shot this gun in close to about 5 months, so I'm out of practice. But for offhand with a big old bore gun, not too bad. The cartridges by Jefferson Arsenal, which is how I made them, worked fantastic, worked great. They tore open, got the ball out, powder poured down, no problem. Other than that, pretty good. What I did notice was with my bullets, I did lubricate some of them just a little too much. So when you try to load it, there was a lot of lube on the top of the barrel that you had to wipe off. That's the one downside. So it wasn't necessarily the fastest reload, but that's not what I was going for. We had a couple of misfires, and that was due to the gun not being fired, I think, in about 5 months. Also, I did swab out the barrel one time, and I don't think I got all of the moisture out of it and had another misfire. So again, user error, not the gun. But I think the Minie Ball grabbed the rifling fairly well, at least for a man-sized target at 75 yards. Now, if I was firing from the rest, could I do better? I know I could, and with a little bit more practice. The caps we were using today, I know I mentioned the CCI caps. That's not what I was using to ignite it. It was the RSW shoots and caps, which burn very, very hot. So that is going to really consist on your gun going off. If you're using the CCI reenactment caps, you're going to be like every 2/3 of the time you're going to have a misfire. So that's why I only use those for cleaning out that small channel in this particular gun. 65 grains of Goex black powder seemed to work pretty well. Might have been a little too much. I may experiment with lowering that maybe to 60, but overall fairly accurate. I would love to have another video later taking this out to maybe 100, firing from the rest, to truly see what kind of accuracy we can get. So if you see the grouping, just know those two flyers, totally user error, not the gun. Gun performed well like it was supposed to do for an individual target, especially for this type of gun of the era. Well, that's about my thoughts on the gun, and again, I want to thank Jefferson Arsenal for letting me purchase one of their kits to make these authentic or close to historical, besides the blue tape, accurate paper cartridges with the 500 grain Minie Ball. So it was a great day to shoot, great experiment. Thanks for watching. I just want to thank the Jefferson Arsenal for allowing me to purchase one of their kits for this particular rifle. Make sure to check them out for all types of black powder kits and all of your black powder needs. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of shooting the Chiappa 1855 Springfield Rifled Musket. Remember, I'm the Musket Man. Keep your powder dry. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys.